What's going on, everybody? I'm right back at it for an NBA video for this evening. Hopefully you guys all had a great weekend. We're looking at a 9-game NBA slate, and this slate is already looking like a lot of obvious plays that you want to jam in here, especially on the Pistons side. We have some Grizzlies guys, and then we could even have more depending on Steph Curry and depending on Jimmy Butler, although I think he'll play. And Donovan Mitchell's still out for the Jazz, so we have some Jazz you could look to as well, but they are definitely behind the Pistons and probably the Grizzlies. Looking back at last night, hit on DraftKings, missed on FanDuel, hit 295.5 on DK. Good enough for double ups and squeaked into the tournaments as well. So let's keep it going today. As always, appreciate it if you guys hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Post the updates on Twitter yesterday, and then had Cole Anthony, was great, almost had 40 fantasy points. Gary Trent, once the Raptors were resting everybody again, was a great play. Boucher was amazing. And let's go ahead and get into this one. So first team you got to talk about is the Detroit Pistons. They are super limited. Once again, resting slash ruled out a lot of guys. No Jeremy Grant, no Corey Joseph, no Plumlee, no Ellington. Still without Magruder, no Dennis Smith, and no Sekou Doumbouya. So we're looking at, let's see, Saritas is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Basically looking at 10 guys. And Tyler Cook might play a little bit, but Saritas might play a little bit too. But mainly 8 guys will get a lot of runs today. And they're all super affordable. None of those guys are above $5,300. So they're going to be a team where you jam in a bunch of them. At the point guard position, the favorite is Killian Hayes. He's $3,700. Super affordable. He should be looking at, sometimes they limit his minutes because he's still coming off of an injury. But even if he gets high 20s in minutes, I think he should have no problem hitting value. He's been playing a lot better in terms of getting assists, 7, 6, 7 in a couple of his recent games. He gets you a couple rebounds, of shots. He's taken 10-plus shots in his last 2 games that he has played, so that's a great sign because he continues to get more aggressive. He's been really bad shooting the ball this year, but he's very young. He's only 19 years old. He's going to get better. It's a great spot against Cleveland, and just without all these bodies, there's just a lot of usage to be had. So you're looking at multiple Pistons in your lineup, probably 3. At least 3 is what I have right now, depending on the news, like based on the news that we have right now. Center is definitely going to be Isaiah Stewart. He's a monster. In there, he gets a ton of rebounds. He has 40, 50-point upside. He put up 41 even with Plumlee in their last game. He has he has a monster double-double upside. He gets you some block shots. Should play over 30 minutes here without Plumlee, as he did against OKC. It's a good spot against Cleveland with Jared Allen in there in the front court. So should see a lot of minutes for Isaiah Stewart today. And 52 for a guy that has 50-point upside is definitely too cheap. So he is my second favorite Piston besides Killian Hayes. And then the third guy, it's a toss-up between Josh Jackson, between Sadiq Bey, even like Frank Jackson as a really value play. But I'm going to go Josh Jackson as my power forward right now. He gives you a little bit of a higher ceiling than Sadiq Bey does, unless Sadiq Bey goes nuts like he did against Boston and hits all of his 3 points. But Josh Jackson will just get you a lot of usage. He's took 16 shots, 14 shots last 2 games. His minutes are high 20s, potentially low 30s today without Jeremy Grant, without even Sekou Doumbouya's out, so they don't have very many bodies in the front court. Go see Josh Jackson play a lot at the 3, and they haven't listed as power forward, even though he's not that. But we could see Josh Jackson. I'm expecting Josh Jackson to continue to be super aggressive, and if he gets 15-plus shots, he's an okay shooter, and because whenever he drives, he's an okay shooter. He's been hitting some of his 3s recently, and he gets you rebounds. He gets you maybe a block/steal, couple steals if he's out there for a lot of time. 51 is also very, very cheap. So those are my 3 main Pistons. The other guy would be Sadiq Bey, just because he's $5,300. He is behind Josh Jackson for me, but he's a guy that will play a lot of minutes. Josh Jackson might only get you like high 20s in minutes, but Sadiq Bey will be out there for they played him 39 against Thunder. So his minutes will probably be a little bit higher than Josh Jackson. So he's another guy that you probably want to get to. And then on the Memphis side, they are without Jonas Valanciunas today. So they still have a lot of guys listed as questionable, so we'll see if these guys play or not. Dylan Brooks, very good last game against the Bucks. He's in play if he does suit up. Kyle Anderson is super affordable, $6,200. Will get you a lot of rebounds today, probably. If they're without Valanciunas, there's a lot of rebounds to be had. And Clark is questionable. If he plays, there's a chance he starts, but we don't know about his status. But a guy that should benefit will benefit a lot without Valanciunas is David Tillman, the rookie. I would expect him to start if there is no Clark. If there is Clark, he could come off the bench. But both guys, Clark and him, should get you a lot of minutes. If he starts, he looks like an absolute lock. If he comes off the bench, he's still a strong play because he is looking at least mid 20 minutes off the bench. And against Denver, against Jokic, plays big. I'm expecting him to probably get you a double-double if he starts at center here. Valanciunas just eats up so many rebounds that there's just not a lot of rebounds to be had for everybody else, averaging 13 rebounds. Played 26 minutes last game. Tillman should soak up a lot of those minutes, I would expect, especially if there is no Brandon Clark again. And now we're waiting on all these guys. Jaren Jackson is doubtful, so I don't expect him to play. But if Brooks plays, I like him. I like Anderson. Even John Morant looks maybe a little bit better, but I probably like Brooks a little bit more than John Morant. And then if Winslow suits up, $3,200 could be somewhat interesting, but he's missed quite a long string of games recently. But Tillman is a guy you want for sure right now on the Grizzlies side. And then on the Jazz side, could look to a few of these guys. Gobert is probable, Conley's probable. A couple of those guys rested, so we saw Clarkson go nuts last game, but Conley $7K, Clarkson is $64. Ingles are kind of priced where they should be. Maybe a couple of them are underpriced without Donovan Mitchell, but the matchup against the Lakers kind of play slow. I'm not expecting this game to be a super fast-paced kind of game. So you could look to some of those guys, but they are definitely going to be behind the Pistons, and they're behind the Grizzlies for me. And then on the Wizards side, I want to get to a few of these guys. Westbrook, probably put him in at the guard spot. He's $11K, gives you a triple-double basically every single game, playing big minutes. He goes in foul trouble against the Pistons, and then the game got out of hand late. So after playing 44 minutes in the back-to-back, he wasn't out there to close. So he lost at least like 7 or 8 minutes in that one. He would have been well over 60 for another game in a row. But he's my favorite spend-up on the slate. You have him and Valanciunas, or him and Jokic as the two spend-ups that you want to prioritize. It's going to be Westbrook for me. And then that leaves you with one other spot here. We're just looking at the quick rundown. These are the core pieces I have in my lineup right now. And then if there is no Curry, then all kind of hell breaks loose on this slate because you're going to want to jam in some Golden State Warriors. But we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully he does play. At least that game's at 7:30, so we should know before lock. But other guys that look appealing are like John Wall. He's $7,900. He was bad against the Nuggets, and then he took the day off last night and on a back-to-back set, but I would expect him to go back to playing 36, 37 minutes like he was. Game was out of hand against the Nuggets. Played poorly. And John Wall also gives you a big-time ceiling, $7,900. Nice price tag. I don't think he'll get a lot of ownership. So for that reason, he's a guy that I like point guard. He's behind Westbrook. He's behind Hayes. But he's probably like my third or fourth option at this position. Then shooter is super affordable, $6,600 if you need to go to him. You can go to Kobe White as a value play, $5,400. And then if you wanted to punt here, Morris is out, so Campazzo will start. They priced him to $4,700, so he's nicely priced, but he's not a priority. Shooting guard, I like Bradley Beal. He's behind Westbrook for me, but he's in play. He's probably my favorite spend up at the position. If Brown plays, he looks fine at $8,400. You have a nice price tag on Karis LeVert. Don't think I want to go to Kevin Porter Jr. on this slate. When Wall is closely priced, $900 for Wall, I'd probably just take that. Or go down to like a Dylan Brooks, go down to maybe a Jordan Clarkson. Clarkson's going to be super aggressive off the bench tonight without Donovan Mitchell. And then, depending on these guys' injury news, we'll see if any of these guys are in play by the end of the slate or by the time the slate locks. Probably see some more minutes for PJ Dozier today without Morris. He's 36. If he needed to go that cheap, he's in play. But I think you have better value on the Pistons side. You probably have better value on the Grizzlies side right now with Tillman. Small forward, I don't really want to go up to Butler at 96 just because I like Westbrook as a pay-up. I like probably Jokic as a pay-up a little bit more. I think you can save some more money and go with a Michael Porter Jr. On the Denver side, he's $7,700. His minutes are super secure. He's lost a few minutes with blowouts in the last couple games. He wasn't out there to close against the Rockets, and he wasn't out there to close against the Heat either. So he lost out probably would have got up to 35 minutes in both of those games. He's been super aggressive. He gets you rebounds, and he's just out there a lot of times, and he's been making a lot of his shots. So even today without Morris, he looks better. Just lock of bodies on the Nuggets right now, and you got a guy, Michael Porter, who gives you a big-time ceiling. So I have to consider him at 77, especially when you have DeRozan similarly priced, and Middleton, I don't want to play him. Don't really want to go to Tobias is questionable, so we'll see. I'd rather go to Porter than Tobias. Dort is 7K. He's been absolutely killing it, though. But I probably lean to Porter over Dort. And then Kuzma against the Jazz. I don't know about the Lakers and Jazz game. I would rather go to the Jazz side, but the Lakers have some appealing price tags on Kuzma and Schroeder. But they're also kind of garbage in this type of the matchup is just garbage for them. So it will be tough for me to recommend Kuzma when I have some better plays. And then you could look to Bogdanovic. He's probably one of my favorite Jazz pieces because he's only $5,800. He's affordable. I like Gordon, $5,700. And then on the Bulls side, they're still without Zach LaVine. So we can look to a Patrick Williams, who was really nice last game. He's 46. He's still viable. Power forward, Giannis. He's 10-6. He got up to 29 minutes, so they still eased him in there a little bit. I would assume he'll get over 30 this one. He's in play, a good price tag against the Suns. But for me, he's behind Westbrook and he's behind Jokic. He's my third guy I would probably go to. Tatum is $10,000. He's probable. Expensive price tag. If Brown plays, I don't think I want to pay $10K for him. If Brown is out, then he would be a lot better of an option. I think Sabonis is reasonably priced, 94 against the Spurs. He gives you a big ceiling as well. And Christian Wood is 86. With John Wall back, I don't think I need to get to him at that price tag. Probably like Kevin Love a little bit, $6,500. And then I like Gordon still at that position. You can go down to a Patrick Williams, $4,600. Markkanen is only $4,300. And there is no Hachimura today, so Avdija will get you a lot of minutes, although who knows what he'll do in those minutes. And then center-wise, it is Tillman as a cheap play, Stewart as a cheap play. Pay-ups are Jokic and Embiid, and then for me, it would be Gobert at $8,100 against the Lakers. I don't want to play Drummond against Gobert. And then you could look to Ayton at 68, but kind of appropriately priced, I would say. And then Thompson was really bad. He's 47. It's a good spot. We see every center go off against the Bulls. Could look to him if he needed to go to a cheaper center, but he's definitely behind Stewart, Tillman, and probably even behind a couple of those spend-ups. So that's it for the DK side. Definitely load up on the Pistons today. Load up on the Wizards, especially, at least Westbrook, I would say, on the Wizards side. Maybe Beal. And then load up on the Grizzlies Denver game if we get some more pieces out of injuries on the Grizzlies side. But Tillman's already kind of a lock for me. So that's it for the DK side. I love what this is looking like. This slate's looking like. Let's go ahead and check out FanDuel. All right, on FanDuel here, point guard at Westbrook is 11.5, but on this slate, he's definitely in play. You can spend down for a John Wall a little bit. If you needed to go with a cheaper option with a lot of upside, it would be John Wall. You can scroll down for a Ben Simmons against the Warriors. He's been playing a little bit better. If Tobias is out, that would help him. If Tobias is in, definitely hurt Ben Simmons a little bit, but he would still be in consideration. Then you have John Moran, is super affordable, only $6,500. He has to be in your player pool. Clarkson is in your player pool at 61. And then you have Maladon, super affordable. Kobe White is also super cheap. All of those guys look very appealing, but they're probably still behind Killian Hayes in terms of value. I like Kobe White, I like Maladon, but I have to go with Hayes at only $3,900. At shooting guard, Bradley Beal is the guy you want. 85 against the Thunder. Just super cheap when you can't get up to Mitchell and Levine. Definitely look to Bradley Beal. You can go to Booker/LeVert as pivots, but for cash, it's definitely Bradley Beal. Even for tournaments, I have a tough time getting to those guys over Bradley Beal. For value, it is Ingles as a fine option at 63. I would rather go to Josh Jackson, though. I'd probably rather go to Dylan Brooks, though. If Brooks is out, I'd rather go to Grayson Allen at $4,800. And then Tyler Hero has not been very good, but he's only 46, so he's an in-tournament option for you tonight. And then that's it. For value, you can go with Dozier, but I think you have plenty of value right here with the guys in the 4K range and the 5K range. Even Will Barton looks good tonight with Morris out. Small forward, it is Porter as a great pay up at 76. I would say if Brown plays, he's also a very nice option. Butler, if he plays today, which I do expect, 93 against Houston, it's a great spot for him. I would probably go Porter, Brown, Butler as my favorites in the 6K range. I love Anderson at 63. You can go to Kuzma or Porter as pivots, but it would be Anderson in that range. 5K range at Sadiq Bey is my favorite, then Boyan at 54. The 4K range, you have Bridges. You have maybe Danny Green if there is no Tobias Harris again. But I do already, and then you have Patrick Williams at $4,000. Right now at this position, there's a lot of very, very good options here. I have Porter in my lineup right now. I'll stick with him. We'll see what happens at the end of the day. But I just like the way he's been playing. He gives you a lot of upside, and he gives you a very solid floor just because he's a good shooter. He gets you rebounds. He's out there for a lot of minutes. And the matchup against the Grizzlies should be a high-scoring one. Power forward, he definitely can get up to Giannis today at $11,000, but you do have a lot of cheaper guys that look appealing. Sabonis down to only $8,700. Then you have a lot of value with Kevin Love, $5,900. We have Gordon is barely above 5K. He's $5,100. Pokusevski's $4,800 against the Wizards. But do you have to go with Stewart as a basically? I mean, it's tough to fade Stewart at $4,800 against Cleveland. I know injuries can happen. I know he just could play badly, but he is just a monster in the paint. Gets you a lot of rebounds. He gets you block shots. It will be very tough for me to envision him not hitting value at that price tag. And then you also have Tillman is super affordable. He's like $3,500. He's min price. You have Markkanen, $3,700 as another guy that you can look to, but Tillman, I'm sure he's min price. Yep, $3,500 for Tillman, and you have Markkanen, $3,700. Position is absolutely loaded on FanDuel. And then at center here, it is Jokic as my favorite pay up. He's in front of Embiid, assuming Tobias plays. Vooch is also a very reasonable option at $9,100 without Zach LaVine. And you could go down to a Bam or a Gobert. And then I don't think you need to go this cheap at center, but if you wanted to be different elsewhere, it would be for probably a Tristan Thompson. And Dwayne Dedmon is back. He's back with a vengeance. Don't want to play him at 39, but can't believe he's back. But I'm going to go ahead and stick with a pay up, and that is going to be Jokic. Got a lot of value on this slate from the Detroit Pistons, from the Grizzlies, and I just have some bad pricing on some guys, so I'll be able to get up to Jokic pretty easily if I wanted to. And without Valanciunas in there, I mean, good luck to Tillman, good luck to Clark slowing down Jokic. He should go absolutely nuts if he wants to. So that's it for the video. I really like this NBA slate. Hopefully we don't get too much more news because I really like the way these lineups kind of come out to. So that's it. Thank you guys for joining me on this fine Monday morning. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Best of luck tonight, and we'll be back tomorrow.